This is your opportunity to ask questions and try and distill what you think were some of the unanswered questions in the day. I think there's a book that you should have had in your delegate bags where you can ask questions, or if you want to, if you have a scrap of paper, please hand it to me, and then you can put your questions to this esteemed panel. Otherwise, I'll ask anyone to stick their hand up and ask a question. Have we got any questions that have been collected yet, or do we have to sort of kick the thing off? But maybe I'll start the panel whilst we're looking for you to ask questions. But you know, what were the big take-home messages of the day? Does anyone want to ask a question? No questions yet? It's going to be a good question time. Peter.
I think one of the more interesting things today was the late results for EVAR2, which created a vote which surprised Roger.
Yeah, but any vote surprises me. You know, any damn trial I've ever thought of doing, I've always had an idea which way it would go, and I'm notorious in having got it wrong. Starting with the UK small aneurysm trial, it was quite obvious that a smaller aneurysm in a younger patient, in a fitter patient, i.e. less frail, which way your vote is, frailty, thy name is madam, obviously they would have a lower mortality, and it was obviously better to do the operation when the aneurysm's small, just like Dr. Biasi, despite all of the evidence today, he just got a feel when an aneurysm got a certain size. There are occasional instances where Biasi says you operate under 5.5. Yeah, the facts are that there are no indications under 5.5, and yet I would have predicted that it would have been under 5.5. Now, turning to EVAR2, well, as a matter of fact, I did personally think that EVAR would be most effective in ruptured aneurysm, second most effective in the EVAR2 situation, and third and most uncertain in EVAR1. Well, at the 4-year point, I was absolutely out, because there was no real, and still no real, data on leaking aneurysm, and EVAR1 was ahead at the 4-year point, and so I was wrong there, and the EVAR2 showed nothing, apart from Frank saying it was all flawed because he didn't like the results. Anyway, apart from that, this time I was taken by surprise. This time I'm taken by surprise because this is exactly what I expected would have happened and did. That's why I'm surprised. And so in the later follow-up, yeah, the EVAR has been put in and it has stopped the ruptures which I expected it would. So it's in line with what I would have expected. But I would not have calculated that so many people would have died in this follow-up. So that's a summary for me.
I think you could also split the question that was asked to the audience today in those who thought there would now be reasons to get financial reimbursement to do an endovascular procedure in the frail patient versus those that thought it was now beneficial for the patient.
I suppose as vascular surgeons we're interested in preventing aneurysms from rupturing, but if the patient's dying around you, then what are we doing? And that comes down to, is there a cost-effective benefit? I mean, do we have any cost-effective?
Well, we haven't done it, but well, Louise and Janet and I are aware, to our surprise, that the health economists, when they do cost-effective modelling, according to the Markov model, take into account, really rather surprisingly, the data of EVAR2, even at the 4-year stage. So I think they will take very much into account the per protocol analysis of EVAR2, no, I think they will be surprisingly influenced by EVAR2. I think they will, because they've got very, very intriguing ways of working out cost effectiveness. Remember, it's clinical benefit